Hello guys, welcome to FDT-TV. I'm Mike.
I'm Ian.
And it's a bit of a strange one for us this week. We've just got some new surroundings. As you can see, the layout is slightly different, and that's because our usual absolutely phenomenal videographer slash producer slash expert at all things videoage. That's you. He's currently in the process. Yeah, he's currently in the process of moving house. So he's currently unpacking boxes and all sorts. But yeah, so apologies. This isn't up to your usual standard. I have tried to do as best as I could, given the circumstances. And please don't let it put you off. You can check out the usual better quality that Ian does every Tuesday. So yes, Ian, how did the move go? Very quickly.
Stressful. I hurt. I ache. I think I've had about 4 hours sleep over the last 3 days. I'm ready for bed, Mike. But here's the thing, right? I don't have a bed. I ordered that on when I was moving. I was like, nah, we'll order that. It'll take a couple of days. Oh, we've got a backlog at the minute, so that's going to take 6 to 8 weeks. So I'm still on the floor.
Oh no.
But hey ho, worse things have happened, haven't they?
Yes.
At least I've got a roof over my head. So
yes, yeah. Well, congratulations on your move, mate. I know it's something you've been waiting for quite a while now, and I'm glad it's all done. You've got the keys. You're in. Looks nice.
It should have happened in like beginning of September. So
yeah. But you're in. You're in.
Yes.
So on to matters football. Apologies again for an absolute blunder on my part. We normally do run the goal of the week poll on Twitter. As you can see below our names, we do have the Twitter handles for both myself and Ian. If you want to follow us on there, as well as on YouTube. For the guys who are listening to the audio only, check us out on YouTube. You'll be able to find our Twitter handles if you want to talk to us on there. So the goal of the week, there's just some I wanted to call out because I thought they were brilliant goals. Mo Salah's second goal even, that actually made me go wow. Left foot outside the box, I believe, bent in top bins, and it was one of those ones I was watching the highlights of it and I literally went wow. It was a good shot. This is one that I think we have a guy that's recently started watching our videos, the Man United fan. He'll probably appreciate these two, but McTominay's first and second goals I thought were really good.
Brilliant. But that's the Manchester United that I remember growing up watching.
Mm-hmm.
They've been a far shout from that recently. But yeah, they were Fergie-esque football, quick passing play, decisive, brilliant.
And that's actually something I want to come back to a bit later on. Also, just want to give a shout out to Dallas as well for his goal. I thought that was a bit of a beauty. Now for something that I've wanted to bring up as well, and I know it's something that'll be a little bit dear to your heart, being an ex-keeper for some games.
Yep.
Save of the week.
Yes.
Save of the week. It's not as good as when you do it. But yes.
So next week we should be back to normal.
Yeah, hopefully. Kasper Schmeichel against Spurs. How he stopped that, I do not know.
It was a reaction save when he's big and strong.
Just like his dad.
Just like his dad, yeah. Usually when you see keepers make reaction saves, they're not, and just get like fingertips to the ball, like he did. They push it onto the bar, but it was a solid hand and
cracking, and it was nice to see Spurs lose.
Yeah. Well, yeah. In fairness, it's one of those because I like Jose as a manager. As I've said this. They're going to win something this year. I know that much. But Son and Kane this season have been fun to watch. when they've been going forward on the counter, they've been fun to watch, and that's horrible to say that.
Yep.
If they played for any other team, it wouldn't be as bad, but yeah.
Yeah, it does make me feel a little bit sick how well they're doing.
What about all the West Ham goals against Chelsea? Oh no, they haven't come yet.
Well, they're coming, mate. They're coming.
I don't know.
Come on, bit of confidence. We are recording this for you guys literally about half an hour before kickoff. Yeah. So we're going to try and
4-3-3.
Okay.
So Noble starting for the first time in a long time. And I think that's just to get a bit of oomph in the squad. Benrahma's on the bench to come on later. He's a quick set of legs. It's going to be a difficult game. Chelsea need to win, otherwise that's 3 losses on the trot. So usually we go to Stamford Bridge, and that's where we get our upturning form. But we've been in quite good form, so I'm concerned that we will go there, and that's where we lose all of our form. And that's the downfall of our season.
Well, I would also just like to point out for those of you who are going to be watching this, if you don't know, we actually do weekly previews of upcoming fixtures. I know the game would have already happened, so you would have known the result by now anyway. But if you want to check out Ian's and myself's videos that we've done previously, just so to get a feel of what we do. Like I said, they do come every week. And yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe now, just to keep up with the content that we put out each week. We would greatly appreciate it as well. Thumbs up, friend. Right, on to matters. I know we can't really do your game, as you said, it hasn't really happened yet, but we're going to go on to one good, one bad for the Arsenal game against Everton. So, yeah, it was. All these losses are merging into one, mate. I'm kind of losing track. So, my one good. We scored a goal. That is the only thing positive.
You scored a goal.
Yeah, penalty. To be honest, I thought the penalty was a little bit soft, but we got a penalty. I'll take it. The one bad, again, it's so hard with how badly we're playing at the moment. It's very difficult to pinpoint one bad, but I've gone with the defensive frailties that we've seen so many times this season come back to bite us in the arse yet again.
Yeah.
I don't. Go on.
I was going to say, looking at Arsenal, I think the problem is Arsenal play very deep. You just cut that bit out. They play very deep, or with a low block, as it's now called, and there's not that pressure high up the pitch. So you let teams come onto you, and then you'd think there would be when you win the ball, a quick counter attack and quite direct. But then it's a slow build-up play after that, which doesn't make sense. You've either got to press high up the field to win the ball back and then have passing play in there, or you've got to sit deep and counter-attack. But you just seem to be playing a counter-attacking defensive strategy and then just a slow build-up play as an attacking strategy, and those two things don't mix.
No, and we did.
I think that's your trouble.
We did see a couple of players get absolutely berated by some of the other players and also some of the coaching staff for the negative style of football. And again, I was talking to Dan during the match, and the pair of us, we might as well have just been screaming at our phones, just saying it was so sick of the defensive style football and the fact that we're inviting pressure on with the goal kicks. Granted, over the last few weeks, we've seen more of the longer kicks, but we've got no desire to win the second ball. We've also got, as you've just said, and summed it up really well, we've got no desire to push forward quickly. I mean, you look at some of the games we played last season, how quickly we caught people out on attack. The perfect example of that is in the FA Cup final and also the Community Shield. Both goals built up from the back, couple of passes, ping it straight across the pitch. We've caught Liverpool and Chelsea out for those 2 goals, and we've scored a goal. And I don't get where this has gone.
Again, I think Arteta is he's been given the title of Pep Guardiola, of the best coach he's ever seen and worked with. And I think that's as far as it goes. There are differences between coaches and managers. Gianfranco Zola, all the players said he's the best attacking coach that a lot of them have ever worked with. But as a manager, he just didn't cut the mustard. Same with Bilic. He's a really nice guy and he's a good coach, but when it comes down to it, he's not the guy you want in charge.
Well, it remains to be seen, and I think I said this in both my preview and also the podcast last week, that I think regardless of what happens, he'll be given until the end of the season. I don't
think so. I reckon he's got 2 more games. If you don't pick up 4 points in the next 2 games, I would say he's gone. I reckon he's got till
January.
Yeah.
So we've got Chelsea on Boxing Day, followed by Brighton just before the end of the year.
Yeah, I think you've got to aim for a point against Chelsea and a win against Brighton. And if you can't pull that out, I think he's gone.
We'll see what happens. Unfortunately,
and you can't get Big Sam now.
No, we've waited too long. Story of our life, isn't it?
Here's the thing, right? People go, "Oh, West Brom," and he's touted about. He came out with a statement today to say that he needs to get the players to understand their strengths and weaknesses. They were the best team in the league last year. They're not the best team in the league this year, so they can't play open and expansive football. They need to play football that gets results and then build on that year on year. And people are saying, well, it's going to be negative. When you look at a Sam Allardyce team, whenever they win the ball, the first ball, unless it's impossible, is always forward up the pitch. Where when Arsenal win the ball, generally it's a sideways pass or a backwards pass.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, it's quite negative. So I think West Brom will be safe. And Big Sam has said, if the players are willing to listen and learn, they will stay up. If they're not, then there's no chance. But I do think that you should have had someone like him. Okay, he may not be pretty, but would you not rather be winning 2-1 than losing 2-1?
Yes, definitely.
That's what it comes down to at the end of the day, isn't it?
Mm.
You give him. You look at the quality in your squad and the quality in West Brom's. I think actually, if you gave him that team, he would play some free flowing and expansive football, because that's what Arsenal got the quality to do.
Well, there's something that's been discussed over the last few weeks in terms of Arsenal that I did want to bring up with you. Now, obviously, towards the end of the Wenger era, we started losing more games than we were winning.
Uh-huh.
Pretty mediocre performances, and it was just time. Some would say that Wenger's era should have ended when we won the FA Cup. I think it was against Chelsea, and that should have been his final curtain call.
Yep.
We then went and got Unai Emery.
Yep.
We did see, again, you can quote me on this, because I think we've even been on podcast recording this. I think that's how far back we went with Unai Emery. We did see an upturn in form, gradually falling off. He got sacked. Ljungberg was pretty hit and miss, but was only in for 10 games. And then Mikel Arteta come in. Again, we see the upturn in form. We win the FA Cup. And then since then, it's been mediocre at best.
Yes.
The point that was raised was, are Arsenal in, or could Arsenal become in a managerial cycle where the current players will pick up their form for the new manager in order to cement their place. And once they've got their place cemented, then fall away and we see the same old shit that we've been seeing over the last few weeks?
Yep.
Or is it down to the manager?
If I'm honest, I think it's a little bit of both. I think Arsenal should have learned from their mistakes of giving Ozil a long contract on big money. They didn't. He doesn't play at the moment. It may be as simple as the treatment of him. All the other players are like, oh, I don't want to do anything because I might end up in the same boat. I want to get out of here because I don't want to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
It could be something as simple as that. However, where do I go with this? So it's down to the manager to make sure those players keep playing at that level.
Mm-hmm.
Is my opinion. That is the manager's job. If the manager can't do that, he needs to go. So it's half a dozen of one, six of the other. I just feel like Arteta is I've said this over and over again. Will be one of the greatest assistant managers ever. You look at Mike Phelan at United when Fergie was there. Well, brilliant. He done that. The bloke who has been everywhere where Klopp's been successful and built clubs from there. Great assistant. I can't remember his name. It's quite a long German name, but fantastic. You look at Jody Morris at Chelsea. Fantastic. You look at Alan Irvine at West Ham. Actually, all these big coaches have a fantastic assistant manager that works within their philosophy, and they can speak telepathically. But what one is good with at being brutal, the other's not quite so good at being brutal. They're the player who goes in to be the peacemaker and to get players back on side. Where you look at Guardiola and Man City this season, they're doing really poorly. What's the difference there? Well, actually, Arteta left, and since he left, they've been doing poorly because I think Guardiola has got the ruthlessness in him, and Arteta was the one to keep players on side and keep them happy. So it was sort of good cop, bad cop. And since they've left, both teams are doing badly because you can't win anything with being a nice guy in football,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't win anything by being just a bad guy in football.
Mm.
Well, some people say Jose Mourinho, but he's a whole different kettle of fish with what he does and how he does things. He runs all of training. He doesn't let people take over. But
Well, he's a special one, isn't he?
He's a special one, and he's a special one for him. But I do think that Arteta will struggle because it may come with time. It may come with time that actually learns to be more ruthless. Aubameyang, for me, if I was a manager there, if he was a football manager, Aubameyang hasn't scored in, 10 games?
Well, he scored against...
But before that, it was a fair few games, wasn't it?
Mm.
He wouldn't be playing. He wouldn't even be on the. He might get the bench, but that's it. Because I need players getting results, and actually, if you're not in form, you ain't playing. Because I can't not have my main striker that's on the big money scoring. I think he needs to be more ruthless with that squad, and I think there's a few players that need to get shipped out.
Yeah.
Whether the owners like it or not, he needs to go. Right, we're taking this down to youth level again. We're going to get rid of all of these big players on big money. If I was you, I would sell Ozil, I would sell Willian, I'd sell Aubameyang, I'd even sell Lacazette, and just go with a real youthful setup and build around that. You look at the squads that are doing well now. All of them have a spine that is built in England. Yeah, it's a homegrown spine.
Mm.
You look at Liverpool, for example. You've got Trent Alexander-Arnold in there, Joe Gomez in there, Robertson, Henderson. That's all that nitty-gritty where you need people to dig deep. That's where you're going to get that from because they've been brought up with the culture of this country's style of football. You look at Italians, they play a different way to the Germans, and the Germans play different to the Spaniards, and the Spaniards play different to the Brazilians. You need that homegrown feeling to it to be able to get the nitty gritty. And I don't. Rob Holding is a prime example in your squad. He's the one to dig in deep and put in a tackle, put in a header. He doesn't always get it right, and he did score an own goal, but he's the one that will play an English style of football and put in a big tackle where it's needed.
Mm-hmm.
David Luiz will do, but I think that's because he's been around English football, won so much in English football, that he knows how to do that now.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I don't see it in the Arsenal squad. It's not there. Saka is the only other one. He's a young English player, homegrown talent, who wants to go forward and run at players and score goals and win the ball and have the ball every second of the game.
Yep.
Bellerin on the other side doesn't want to do that. He's not fussed if he loses the ball.
No, I think the exception with Bellerin is that he likes to get forward and completely forgetting that he's actually got to defend as well. And that's one of the issues that I've seen with him over the last couple of weeks. Has been dreadful, can't take a fucking throw in, excuse my language.
Well, I've heard that someone, Barcelona, have put in a £22 million bid, which is being weighed up at the moment for Hector Bellerin. And if they was offering £22 million, one with the current financial climate, and two with his inability to be able to take a throw, I'd bite their arm off for 22 million quid. I'd get a shot.
Well, there's a few players that I personally would like to see shipped out because, Granit Xhaka being one. Again, I've kind of gone a bit topsy-turvy with him because towards the back end of last season and the start of this season, I did think he was one of our better players in terms of putting in the big challenge, but he's had a few chances now. He's ruined, I think, his reputation at the club. I mean, the perfect example of this was when Gabriel Magalhaes got sent off. For the life of me, it's completely gone off out of my head who we played before we played Everton. But
Burnley.
Thank you. He no, it wasn't Burnley. There was one in between that. Because we lost 1-0 to Burnley, and Aubameyang actually scored in the match where he got sent. Where Gabriel got sent off. Bear with Southampton was the game.
Yeah.
Gabriel got sent off in that game, and within the hour, come out on social media and apologise to the fans for the balls up for when we were on top. Yeah, we're still waiting for Granit Xhaka. Still waiting for him.
I don't think it.
And I think that the guy's coasting. He was one of the players in that particular game who was slow. It was against Burnley. He got sent off, and he was the one that was slow in the build-up play. He was just didn't transition very well, coasted around the pitch, and got caught out, and that's when he had to make that stupid challenge. Well, he didn't have to make that stupid challenge. He made this stupid challenge and then got himself booked, and then it all got a bit out of control. And I think that's the problem with him.
But Arteta stuck with him week in, week out, regardless of that. And that's the point where I think a Guardiola or a Mourinho would be pulling him out and going, yeah, he ain't good enough. That's why he ain't playing. Mourinho probably would have dug him out more in the press than Guardiola would have, but neither of them. He wouldn't get into any of the squads. He's not fast enough. He's not direct enough.
Well, once again, we've turned into the Arsenal bashing show.
Yeah, but I do think it's about ruthlessness now. And at the end of the day, Arteta he got a big job, partly because of he was such a good captain for yourselves. Didn't win much. What did he win? A couple of FA Cups with you? So he's not had a star-studded career, is he? He didn't make a single appearance for Spain. So he's not had the side career. But if he loses this job now in a fashion that he has, I don't think he'll get another managerial job. Not over here. He may do
I'll fire, mate.
sort
You've
of
cut.
lower down sides in there. Hello,
Make that point again.
Lou. From where?
With managerial
If he
job.
loses his job.
Yep.
Yeah, so if he loses this job here in the fashion that he has, I think he won't get another job over here. I think he may be able to get one in the lower half of the Spanish top league, some of their clubs, to try and build it back up. But I think if the spectacular fashion that you've imploded, and there's that rot set into your club, he ain't the man to change it for me. And I do think that it will ruin his reputation.
Well, I'm hoping that we get the rest of this year out of the way. I know we've got the transfer window opening very shortly. Get rid of a few players, sign a few players. I know money's going to be very tight at the moment, and I would give him at least till middle of Feb, because by that time we should have a couple of people returning back from injury as well. And I'm not saying that injuries are an excuse. Every team's affected by injury.
No, but they can change the makeup of a team. That can be the difference between a successful season and an unsuccessful one. I know that as a West Ham fan, we've had our share of injury-ridden seasons, and it does make a difference. But that's why you've got a squad, and he's left Ozil out, seemingly because he's not good enough to be in the squad, and there's other options there. But actually, at the minute, it's crying out for an Ozil and a creative player and someone to go push, pinpoint balls forward. I can't see. I don't know who you'd replace him with. I don't know who would want to go to Arsenal. With generally the lack of funds that there is available at Arsenal, they're not free spending as most other big clubs are. And that there is a definite rot around that team, whether that be from the board or from the squad. I don't know which it is, or whether it's a little bit of both. But I don't know who you're going to attract to take that on. You might get a Tony Pulis, I suppose. Now Allardyce has gone. Some people that I've seen online that are calling for Eddie Howe, but Eddie Howe. It seemed, I know Bournemouth were relegation fodder most years, and were always in that fight. But again, he's one that everyone said he was too nice. He was too nice, and he wasn't ruthless enough when he needed to be. So, how are you going to stop just something in freefall without being ruthless with it?
Well, there was actually one name I read before we recorded, or before we started recording this. Brendan Rodgers was a name that was been touted for the next Arsenal manager. Personally, I don't see it, because why the fuck would you leave Leicester and come to us in the position that we are? And I'm not sure if that's possibly touted at the end of the season. Thanks very much, Arteta, for your services. Jog on.
I don't think Rodgers would come anyway.
No, I don't.
The owners at Leicester are beloved by everybody. They want to put money into the football club and to the community, and actually, he's got some cracking young players there. Why would you leave?
As I said, it was just a name that popped up on the wonderful world of social media. As you know, it's.
But I do think he would be ruthless enough. I don't think he would take any excuse as to why it's happening. It's not in his eyes. If you're playing like that, it's not good enough. And it needs to be corrected, and it needs to be corrected now. I don't know. Again, Pochettino, you could say plays nice football, but what's he won? Nothing. Is he going to be ruthless with it? No, I don't think so. That's why Tottenham never won anything, because he wasn't ruthless enough. Who else is available? Allegri, maybe.
That was the bookie's favourite.
He's been around the block. He knows he can get a free transfer, so that would fit into Arsenal's sort of signings thing very nicely. They'd like that. And again, I don't think he would take any shite from no one. But would you be able to attract him sitting what he is now, 17th,
15th,
15th?
maybe even
Would you be able to
16th.
attract-
I'll just double check. I'm pretty sure we're still 15th. Oh, actually, no. Yeah, we are 15th. But yeah, it's frustrating.
I've just thought of a name,
Go on.
and you'll laugh at me for this, and a lot of Arsenal fans will be like, well, "What are you on about?" David Moyes. He saved us from relegation twice. We're high flying at the moment, having one of our best seasons ever, because he's instilled hard work into those players. We played you at a really odd time.
So it's,
You weren't quite full. What?
sorry, you've gone all glitchy again. I was going to say it was the second game of the season.
Second game of the season, yeah. So you weren't quite in free fall yet. You'd come off a really strong win against Tottenham, so you was high in confidence. After that, you've been rubbish. But if you played us now, we would outwork you in every position, and I reckon we'd win 4 or 5-0. Just because we would outwork you, and that's his thing. He wants hard work, and the players who haven't been working hard were shipped out. Felipe Anderson, one of our record signings, one of the ones you could say can win a game in a moment and has moments of brilliance, but he wasn't working hard enough, so he was shipped out on loan.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you won't take any mustard. Oh, any shite. I just hope you get relegated a little bit, mate, because then it'd be nice to see Southend versus Arsenal in the conference.
That's what you will think.
It only cost you £75 a ticket.
We've got to recoup some of the losses, mate.
I do think, though, I think it's a dangerous one. I think if you leave it too long with Arteta and it doesn't start to turn, because if you started to grind out draws at this point, you ground out a draw against Everton and a draw against Burnley, you'd go, okay, that's 2 difficult games that we've started, but we're in bad form, but we've started to turn it around. The fact that you lost both of them, didn't you?
Look, we've lost the last 3. No, sorry, we lost against Burnley, drew against Southampton, lost against Everton.
Yeah, so 1 point out of a possible 9. If you'd got 3 points out of a possible 9, you would have gone, okay, it's not great, but it's getting better.
Hmm.
If you leave it too late, then the players go, right, where else can I go? Because I want to play Champions League football, I want to play Europa League football, I don't want to be related to an Arsenal team that's getting relegated, and they all down tools and get on to their agents to say, I need to go elsewhere, sort me out.
Hmm.
And at that point, you are getting relegated, and then you're probably getting relegated again. Sunderland, that was a prime thing, wasn't it?
Yep.
There was a lot of lockdown. The players, by the end of the season, all wanted out, so they got relegated. And then at that point, all the players left because they was on big wages, couldn't afford it in the Championship, and then they got relegated again because they had no players.
Yep.
And they've struggled to get back since. And I do fear for Arsenal, and that would be the way it goes.
Well, I'm sincerely hoping we fucking turn it around and turn it around quick. Yeah.
What it takes, though, is if it doesn't get better, is it takes the ball to admit they got their appointment wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't like being wrong.
Nope. I certainly don't like being wrong.
No, but say to be able to, but that's where what it comes down to, isn't it? Is sorry, we got that wrong, but we corrected it as quickly as we could.
Yep. Right, moving on to VAR, bloody VAR, bastard, VAR. Couple of things I wanted to talk about in this segment.
Yep.
And I know there's one actually you want to bring up. So, West Bromwich Albion. Jake Livermore sent off for a nutty boy challenge. Mm-hmm. Again, this is one that was looked at by VAR. Personally, I think they did get the decision right. But I love how the fact that they had to take it to VAR without being able to see it straight away. I know those sorts of decisions will need to go to VAR because it was a possible red card offence, and it turned out it was a red card offence.
Yep.
But that was a disgusting challenge. Could have been a potential leg breaker, and I think there should be some sort of retrospective action taken against that. I know he's got the suspension in the games now, but I personally think with the intent that he had, there should be some retrospective ban on that, because he did literally go in leg high, thrusted, studs showing. There should be a retrospective ban on that, because had he broken his leg, that's game over.
I think though, but I think if it hadn't been looked at by VAR and he'd be sent off, there would have been retrospective action. I think because it has, they'll go, well, we looked at it and he's been given a red.
Yeah, I suppose.
And that's the hard thing, because you like with the, and it is, isn't it? It's all in the intent.
Yep.
He's had. He's done it before. We've seen it before in his career, where he goes in with nutty boy challenges and hurts people. So he obviously doesn't learn his lesson. So I agree with you there. Maybe some further. Maybe if it's just an extended ban, so instead of 3 games for a straight red, it's 5.
I agree. Completely agree. The second one I wanted to pick out, I don't know whether you saw it. Old Grealish, his penalty award. That was one of the most.
Talked earlier, but I've not seen it.
It was one of the most ridiculous decisions I've seen in terms of a penalty, because he was running towards the box, was pushed outside the box, fell over in the box, and to be honest, it didn't even look like there was much contact, to be honest. But he went down and was awarded the penalty. Personally, I think it was a joke. He
dived. He's been diving though. I mean, I didn't notice it as much until we played them, and he's all like literally you can breathe near him, he'll fall over.
And that's. Do you remember we were discussing actually that's probably one of the statistics, or one of the leading factors as to why he is the most fouled player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if he cuts it out of his game, he will become great. If he doesn't, he'll just be a very good player. And I know obviously that there are players up the top, Mo Salah being one of them, who does dive all over the place. But actually, would you put Mo Salah up there with your Ronaldos and your Messis and your Pelés and your?
Personally, no.
You wouldn't, but that if he stayed on his feet, he'd score twice as many goals and be able to get more assists, and then he would be up there with him.
Yep.
Ronaldo did dive at Manchester United when he was first starting out his career. That was taken out of him very quickly. He stopped doing that. He did it a little bit at Real Madrid, but it wasn't a sort of thing that he doesn't do it as a first instance now. It's a every now and again as a tactical dive. It's not at every contact. So,
I know there was one that you wanted to chuck at me.
And it is on the subject of diving. Callum Wilson.
Yep.
It's cheap. There was no contact at all. VAR looked at it and sent the referee over to the monitor, who looked at it, walked away, and then they sent him back to the monitor. He looked at it still, and still gave the player a red card and awarded a penalty for there being no contact. And it was quite obvious there was no contact, so I don't know how VAR didn't just overturn it. Say, we're not looking at the monitor, you've got it wrong, and you've got it wrong looking at the monitor. So therefore, we're just overturning it. It is a red card.
Well, the one of the things that I noticed when, again, in similar sort of vein to the Jack Grealish one, is that the foul started to be committed outside the box. I get the players are running at speed.
But at that point, it's a free kick. It's not a penalty.
Yeah, but he managed to somehow stay on his feet for like a yard or two in the box and sniper from the rafters. Managed to catch him. And, I mean, you could see it. His legs were already going. As soon as he like passed the white line of the box,
Yeah, no, you can call him going down. Yeah,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
I don't know. Do you know what? When West Ham signed Faguli, who some would say was a success, others would say was not. I think it's a little bit of both. He had some moments, but he didn't quite settle. He was diving at every contact. West Ham fans booed him every time he did it because if he hadn't dived, he would have been through on goal.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the time he didn't get given anything. He got booked for diving. Other times he did get given a free kick, but not in any decent position. He quickly at West Ham ruled that out of his game because the fans booed him. And that was when we was at London Stadium. When you got 60,000 people booing you because the away fans are booing you anyway because you're diving. When the home fans started doing it, you change your game.
Yeah,
and that's when he did go on a little scoring run for it and getting a few assists. And then he left.
I think that's one of the things we've got kind of against us at the moment is that the state of the country, we're not allowed, or it's looking like many areas are not allowed back into the stadiums again due to the new tiering structure. Just when things started to get better, unfortunately they appear to have got worse and everyone's back in lockdown. But and until such time that we do start seeing the fans back in, it may be something that we see continually for the foreseeable.
And I think that's a blessing for Arsenal. Well, it's not. It's a blessing for Arsenal players and for Arteta. Because I know it's called the library and it's a bit of a joke, but can you imagine how much they would be berating the players in the team?
Yes, I'll be right there with them.
There's not a single Arsenal fan that's happy at the minute.
Nope.
And if there is, then they're deluded.
Yep.
Yeah, for me, I just think it's a blessing in disguise for those Arsenal players. I think they don't realise what they're going to be, what they would be getting if they didn't. Apparently, the old man said, Jamie Carragher has come out with another classic.
Got him.
He said, I like Declan Rice, but he's no good at passing the ball. Declan Rice is one of the best passers of the ball in the Premier League. The thing is, right, and people will go, what do you mean? When you look at his training videos and what he does in training, he pulls off some unbelievable skills, but 2 passes and shots. He doesn't do it in the game. Not all, he has done it, we've seen it, but he doesn't do it all the time because he plays football basics. This is why he's one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. He gets the ball, he passes it off forward quickly. It's a short pass sometimes, it's a sideways pass sometimes, it's a backwards pass sometimes, but it's very rarely does he pass it to opposition players. Jamie Carragher's an idiot. We said it. Well, no, I was going to say we've said it here first. No, we haven't. He's one, he's biased, but 2, he's an idiot. And out of the 2, sometimes he is entertaining to watch. I give him that, mainly when he's with Gary Neville, because the banter and the competition between them. But fairness, I think Gary Neville's a much better pundit than he is. He might come out with some drivel about United sometimes, but generally, when he's talking about something that's neutral, he gets it right. Carragher, yeah, idiot.
Right, moving on. One more question that, in fact, no, we'll save that for any other business.
Okay.
Move on to predictions. Obviously, we can't give the score update as it stands at the moment because we have the West Ham Chelsea game currently going on.
It's 1-0 to Chelsea at the minute. Thiago Silva scored.
Oh, bloody hell.
Just.
So we've got those, so we can follow that up on next week's week's podcast. But that does bring us on to the next round of fixtures, which I believe are on Boxing Day, there or thereabouts. We do have Arsenal versus Chelsea and West Ham versus Brighton. We'll start with the Arsenal-Chelsea game. I can't see anything other than a loss. Depending on how Chelsea play tonight. 2-0.
No, don't say that. No,
Oh no,
don't.
I thought it was just the way you looked in anger at your phone.
No, I was just thinking. Go on.
Yeah, so depending on how Chelsea play tonight, we've seen it over the last couple of weeks. The players have come back that have left Arsenal and basically taken a piss out of us. Iwobi for Everton, Walcott against for Southampton, but Giroud coming back. I don't know whether he'll start or not. Probably will. Done the number of us in the Europa League final, and I think it'll be there to pour more misery back onto Arsenal. I'm going to go for a 3-1 to Chelsea on that game.
I'm going 2-0 Chelsea because they will play quite direct, but they will play quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is what will do you. I think their finishing has been poor recently, hence why defenders scored from a corner. But I think that they will catch you out either one on the counter or two just through sheer speed because they've got someone out there. 2-0.
Cool. West Ham versus Brighton.
West Ham versus Brighton. Are we at home?
Yes.
I think Tariq Lamptey's back, so that causes concern because he's rapid. Masuaku's obviously out injured, so he'll be coming up against Cresswell, who's getting on a bit now. Not quite the fastest player. Antonio was meant to be back for this one, but he's not even made the bench. Haller up top. Hard. Brighton are playing well. We're playing well. I'm going 2-2. I think it's going to be a draw, 2-2. Yeah, that's where I'm going to go with that one at the moment.
Okay. My thoughts on the game. Again, Brighton have done really well. They've just recently, should I say, have come up with a few important goals which have either won them the game or drawn the game. Most notably at the weekend. I think that you will have too much for them, though.
Okay.
I am going to go for both teams to score, West Ham to win 2-1.
Ooh. I'd like that to be the result, but yeah.
So yeah, those are our predictions. Let us know what your thoughts and predictions are in the comments below. Right, on to any other business. Just the one thing from me. Manchester United now up into third.
No.
After the poor season that we'd seen them have, poor start to the season we'd seen them have. A lot of fans calling for Solskjaer's head.
Yep.
They've hit a decent run of form recently. Pulled out a 6-2 win against Leeds at the weekend.
Yep.
And there's been a lot of comments about them potentially being title contenders this year.
No chance.
Okay. Cool. That's it.
I'm assuming you want my opinion on it.
Yes.
Manchester United have miraculous powers of recovery that we've seen this season in the Champions League and in the Premier League. But again, Solskjaer is touted as a really nice guy. I don't think he's got the ruthlessness in him to make that team a success. And that's it. I just think he's too nice. I think he's a yes man. Manchester United have spent an awful lot since he's been there, and I can't see him being title contenders when they play the big games. They played against Leeds and tactically they played very well against them, but I can't see it lasting.
I'm very much with you. When I heard those comments, granted they have hit a run of form recently and they are doing very well, but we've seen Manchester United, especially over the last few seasons, where they've been so hit and miss. So they've been outstanding 1 minute Paul Pogba is the best thing since sliced bread, and then they start playing crap, and he needs to get shipped out, and then you've got the Champions League form again has been so hit and miss over the last couple of seasons. Personally, I just don't think. I think they're going through a wave. Possibly at the moment they're at the crest of the wave, and do we see them capitulate over the next couple of weeks is yet to be seen. But personally, I don't think they're title contenders.
When he's been in the job. What? This is the third season, but it's 2.5 seasons really.
Yep.
When he first took the job, they went on that amazing run of form, didn't they? And everyone was like, the old Manchester United's back. And then he got the job full time. They fell apart. Mm-hmm. And since then, it has been real up and down. They have either been really, really bad or really, really good. There's no consistency there. Mm-hmm. I don't see it. I don't see it lasting. He's another one that's going to be gone for me. I reckon he'll be gone by the end of the season.
Okay. Well, I think his contract runs out.
Aren't Manchester United in the Europa League now as well?
Yes.
So he's not really been a success, has he? Because they're in the Europa League. They were in the Champions League. And
that's what I meant with their Champions League form, because the last couple of seasons, again, it's been really hit and miss, not winning games they should have been winning, and and as you said, they've now dropped into the Europa League. But again, we'll see what happens towards the end of the season. It's something that we can comment on again later on. We never know. In a couple of weeks, they might be on the downward spiral and come join us back down in 15th position.
Yeah, he's been there 2.5 years and he's not won anything. It's not. Van Gaal won stuff. Mourinho won stuff. Ollie hasn't yet. Actually, there are some Manchester United fans saying he's magnificent. We ain't won anything. So he might be really nice and a club legend, but do you want to be nice or do you want to win?
Yeah, I agree.
If they were a club like West Ham who haven't won anything for a long time, then you'd go, yeah, I'd rather have a nice guy in charge of the club, but we get some really, really high highs, but we get some really low lows. Rather than not winning. Like, if you're a club as Manchester United that's been was dominant for so long, that's a hard thing to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Anything else from you from any other business?
No. Sorry, so there's people shouting. I've got headphones on. I can hear it. There's nothing from me really. Just wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. We'll see you before the New Year, so well, you'll see us. We might not see you. But yeah, it's been an odd year for football and for everything else.
Yep.
So hopefully 2021 is a bit better.
Yep.
But from me, all my other business is I wish you a very Merry Christmas. I'm sure you'll echo that message.
Absolutely. So yes, Merry Christmas to you all. Thanks very much for all of your support over the last couple of years since we've been doing this. Also for the guys that have subscribed, we really do appreciate it. Mate, you were just frozen on my screen and you had a horrible gurney face like that. But no, in all seriousness, thank you very much. Yeah, it will be after a few JD and Cokes, mate, won't it? But yes.
Well, now I'm not allowed. Now no one else is allowed round. I've got 6 bottles to drink, so
get cracking, mate. Get cracking. But yes, thank you again for watching, and we wish you a Merry Christmas, and we'll catch you after. Thanks very much, guys. I've been Mike.
I'll be there.
We'll see you soon.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Click like and subscribe. Share it everywhere. Check out one of our other videos. It'll be somewhere around here. Cool.